Hello and welcome. My name is Danielle. I'm so glad to see you here. So hopefully you're feeling ready to get into some movement today. Got a nice well-rounded Vinyasa flow prepared with a little bit of core work, a little bit of twisting, a little bit of balancing, just a little bit of everything to really get you connected and grounded into your body and feeling supported off of your mat as well. So we've got a lot of variations, a lot of options today. I've got some blocks ready at the top of my mat. It could be helpful if you would like them. Always an option, never an obligation. So go ahead, grab them if you would like them, and we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to start today ideally in thunderbolt pose. So coming into a kneeling position and then sitting back. If this feels a little too tight, you're always welcome to sit cross-legged or maybe even doing child's pose. Or if you would like just a little bit extra support, you can take a block, put them between your feet, maybe on the low setting, maybe a little bit higher, just depends on what you need in your body. And that just gives your sitting bones a little bit more space to ground into something and gives you a little bit more space for your knees. So try that if you would like, and we'll go ahead and just start to ground in and get started. So first, bringing some awareness to our pelvis, really grounding down to lift up out of it. Your core is engaged. You're sitting tall. Shoulders are rolled down the back, extending tall through the crown of the head. Maybe your hands are resting on your knees. Maybe one hand to your belly, one hand to heart center. And just here at the beginning, before we get into the movement, just start to bring that awareness, that focus into the breath. So as we move through our practice, the true practice of yoga is being with our breath. So right here now, can we focus in? Big full inhales and big full exhales. And just starting to connect to our bodies. So as we start to move and we start to lose that breath, that is your signal to yourself to go a little bit gently. Just back out and get the focus back to that breath. So let's seal that focus in with one good breath together. So let's inhale fully. Exhale fully. And then we'll start to move. So on your next inhale, arms go out and up, maybe touching, maybe a little back bend. And then exhale, draw it into center. Inhale, go out and up. And exhale, draw it in. Inhale, out and up. And on your exhale, twisting over to the right. So left hand on right knee, right hand behind you. Can we grow tall through the spine and then gently twist? Maybe looking over our shoulder. And maybe we're staying here, or on your next inhale, that right arm starts to lift up and goes over, really grounding down in that right hip to get a beautiful stretch on the whole right side of the body. And then starting to draw it around, coming onto our left knee. So now we're in a little bit of a cat pose. Can we inhale, lift the heart for a little seated cow? And then exhale, tuck the chin, round back for cat. And inhale for cow. One more round. Exhale back. And inhale forward. And coming back to neutral. Inhale, arms go out and around. And exhale, draw it in. Inhale, offering it up. Exhale, drawing it in. One more time. Inhale, offering up. And then exhale, twisting to the left. So right hand on left knee, left hand behind you, navel to spine as we're wringing out our spine, looking over our shoulder. And maybe we stay here, or on our inhale, we lift that left arm, reaching it over the ear. Pinkies are spiraling down, grounding down through that left hip bones. Can we lift up and breathe into that left wrist? And then exhale, start to bring it around. Left hand to your right knee, coming back into cat. Then inhale, lifting for cow. Exhale, rounding back. Inhale, moving with your heart. And exhale. One more round. Inhale, maybe closing the eyes. And exhale, rounding it back. And then coming back to neutral, starting to shift ourselves forward, removing any block if we've taken them. And we will come back over to face the front of our mats for tabletop. So grounding down here equally through both wrists, both fingers, both toes. You want your shoulders stacked directly over the wrists. On our inhale, drop the belly, shine the heart through for cow. And exhale, rounding it back. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cats. Now you're welcome to stay with this, or if you're ready, on your next cat, as well as rounding back, can we push the hips back, kind of sinking into a little bit of a child's pose? And then inhale, pull the heart through, sliding the chest forward into cow. Now exhale, rounding back into cat, and then pushing through the arms to push the hips back for a little bit of a child's pose variation. And then inhale, drawing the chest through. So doing this for just a couple of rounds, little cat-cow waves. And maybe closing the eyes helps you really notice where the stretch is in the spine. Notice it as it traces down the spine as you push your hips back. All right, let's do one more round. All right, and then as you're ready, the next time coming through cow, can we pause and start to walk the hands forward, sinking the hips down, coming into a little bit of a cobra pose. So untucking the toes, pressing into the tops of the feet to the floor, taking our hands maybe mat's width a little bit wider, and then on our inhale, rolling up, and exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting up, maybe noticing if there's a train coming through. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting up, maybe staying with this, or as you're ready, start to dip your left shoulder, look right. Inhale, coming back through. Exhale, dip your shoulder, lift right, maybe roll onto that left hip. And coming back through. Let's do that one more time. Dip your shoulder, look right, maybe rolling up to the hips, and maybe taking that right leg and just touching it behind you. And then coming back through center. All right, inhale, lifting. Exhale, dip your shoulders, look left. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, look left. Maybe start to roll onto that right hip. Maybe that's too much, and that's okay. Coming back through center. Exhale, dip your right shoulder, maybe rolling onto your hip, maybe touching that foot back behind you, just getting a little deeper stretch. And as you're ready, coming back through, let's push our hips up, push ourselves back through child pose, and tuck the toes, lift the hips, and now we are in downward facing dog. So it's the first one of the class, maybe of the day. So let's take a moment to feel it out. So bending into one knee and the other, just pedaling your dog. Maybe bending both knees generously, bending the chest, leaning it back towards your thighs. And then slowly starting to straighten the legs as you drop your heels and find length along the whole back line. We're really pressing into our fingers, our knuckles, glued into the floor. And then as you're ready, bend your knees, look to the top, and slowly tippy toe forward, pressing into your arms the whole time, coming into a forward fold. So a nice little ragdoll here. So your hands can stay on the floor. Maybe you want to give your legs a little bear hug, rub them, give them some friction, some love, or grabbing opposite elbows and just swaying side to side. And maybe just noticing how it feels. Is there any tightness? Maybe tucking the chin, letting your head grow heavy, and finding space between the vertebrae as you soften in. All right, then we release our hands, slowly start to round it up, roll it up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, hands to heart center. So pausing for a moment to come back to our intention, reconnecting with our breath. And then we'll start to move. So inhale, arms out and up. Interlock grip, release the index fingers. Take that left foot, stack it behind the right, so we got a little bit of a twist. And on your exhale, stretching the arms to the right, bump your hips to the left. We're looking for a nice little stretch along the left side. And holding for a moment. All right, then inhale, coming back through center, switch out the legs. So your right leg goes behind the left. And on that exhale, pulling the arm to the left as we're bumping the hips to the right. And breathing through the whole right side. Inhale back through center, sort out your feet, and then cactus the arms, lift the heart. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, a flat back lifts you up, and exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Then we shift forward, knees, chest, then chin, lower down. And inhale, pull the heart through for a little cobra. And exhale, fold in, tuck the toes, push yourself back through child's pose, and lift the hips, downward facing dog. So that right there is our gentlest vinyasa. We will add on intensity from here, but know that that one is always an option, or you can always skip it and rest. Do what is calling you today. All right, on your inhale, bend the knees, look forward, hop, step, or jump to our fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead, fingertips touch. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Reconnect with your breath. All right, next inhale, arms up. And on our exhale, we're going to twist open to the right. So we're pushing our right hip forward as we're reaching that right arm back. And breathing space. Then inhale, hands back up. And exhale, twist open to the left. So left arm reaching back, left hip reaching forward, trying to keep our hips square as maybe we look back to our back fingers. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, lead with the heart. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Then inhale, shift forward, knees lower down, then lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, untuck the toes, pull the chest through for cobra. And exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, push yourself back through tabletop. And then inhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So we're gently adding on intensity as we're warming up the body. Hopefully we're feeling a little better now, ready for some movement. So connecting to our breath. Bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump to our forward fold. A flat back lifts you up. And then exhale, lowering in. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, on your next inhale, we're going to fold down. Then bend the knees, sink those hips back. Inhale, lifting up for chair pose. So we're wiggling our toes, the weight's in the heels. We're not gripping the mat. Can we sink the hips lower as we reach the hands up higher? And then exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, right foot steps back, then drop the knees, untuck the toes. Inhale, coming up for a little crescent low lunge. So our right hip is angled down, left hip sliding back. We're reaching up, our hands are strong and active. Maybe we're staying with this, or if you want a little bit more, start to twist open to the left side of the mat. So same action as before. That left hip is pushing forward, left hand, left arm reaching back. Can we check in with that awareness of our left toe or left heel? Maybe you're staying here, or we go into a little bit more of a back bend. So left hand, maybe it finds your thigh. Maybe it stays in the small of your back. Right arm is reaching up and over. Pinkies are spiraling down. Maybe the gaze is behind you. Maybe the gaze is up. Feeling that shake, that quake. And then exhale. Plant the right hand down, going into a little bit of a twist. So our right arm is grounded, left arm reaching, maybe staying here. Or if you want a little bit more challenge, opening that quad, that right foot picks up. Maybe the left hand finds it, maybe not. Again, these are all just options, never obligations. All right, then exhale, windmill the hands down, tuck the right toes, pick up that right knee, left foot steps back, and we flow our way to downward facing dog. All right, a couple of moments in stillness when we make our way to down dog. Maybe just taking a moment to notice the difference from side to side and preparing to balance it out. All right, so on your next inhale, that left leg, picks up. And exhale, stepping it through. Then the right hand steps through, coming into a malasana squat. Maybe taking a moment, shaking it out side to side, just kind of feeling into our hips. Now here's the mobility challenge. So bringing some awareness to our feet, to our heels. Can we drive down through the heels to stand up, reaching up, growing tall? And then exhale, coming back through center. Sorting out the feet, coming to Tadasana at the top of our mats. All right, and we'll do that full flow on the other side. All right, so on your next inhale, we're going to sink the hips down, reach the hands up. Going into our chair pose. So again, making sure the weight's in our heels, navel to spine, that strong core reaches up. And then exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, left foot steps back, drop the knee, untuck the toes, and our hands rise for our crescent low lunge on the left side. So right hip is sliding back, left hip is angled down, our arms are spiraling in and reaching up, and we're breathing, feeling it out. You're welcome to stay here. This might be plenty. If you're ready to go a little further, we windmill it open to our twist to the right side. So that right arm is reaching back, left arm reaching forward. One day, imagining our chest being square with the side. You're welcome to stay here. To go a little bit further, take that right hand finds your left leg. Maybe the left arm reaches. Maybe we stay here, or maybe we can reach back and sink the hips down a little bit more. Breathing it out. Really feeling that stretch on that left hip flexor. And maybe we lift the gaze if it feels okay on the neck. All right, then inhale, windmill that left arm down, reaching that right arm up. And if this is challenging, this is also another great place for a block here. If you want to bring the earth just a little bit higher. Always a nice option to find those blocks where you can. You're welcome to stick with this, or maybe start to bend that left leg. Maybe the right hand reaches back. Maybe, just maybe, they touch. Some days they do, some days they don't. And if they don't, that's okay. And maybe you're just staying in that very first pose of that crescent low lunge, and that's okay too. All right, as you're ready, windmill that right hand down to the inside of that left foot. Tuck the back toes, pick up that left knee. And as we're ready, we're going to step forward, coming into our wide-legged squat. Maybe we're sinking the hips down. And if you just want to stay up like this, I should have given that option on the other side. I'm sorry. You're welcome to stay higher or sink the hips down. Just trying to get into a squat for a moment. Maybe swaying side to side. Breathing, connecting with that breath. Then as you're ready, driving down through the heels, pressing our hands together. Can we channel that energy straight up, maybe open, and then exhale, coming back through to center. All right, finding our Tadasana at the top of our mats. Reconnecting with that breath. Getting ready for our next little push. So as you're ready, start to bring that awareness to your left leg, really firm that left thigh, and taking that right leg, flexing it at the foot, coming to our one-legged mountain. So we're looking for 90 degrees in the hip and the knee, and the foot is flexed. Maybe your hands are reaching down to turn on your back line, or maybe your hands are at heart center. We're staying with this. Then as you're ready, start to bring that right foot in to your right calf, or maybe your right thigh, or maybe you're just at the ankle, coming into our tree pose for a moment. Whatever shape we're taking, we're just keeping the foot off of the knee to protect our joints. And maybe you're playing with growing higher or lower. We're bringing some awareness, trying to keep our hips and our shoulders square as we're pushing our knee out, gently opening the inside of that hip. Now from here, we're going to gracefully transition to warrior two. So as you're ready, a gentle bend in that left leg as you start to reach that right foot back. And then sort out your roots, making our way into warrior two. So we're pressing into the knife edge side of that left foot, pressing down into that right big toe, looking for our knee directly over the heel, stretching our arms east to west. Shoulders are drawing in and reconnecting with that breath. Can we slow it down? Maybe sink a little lower as we sit a little taller. Then start to straighten that left leg, reach that left arm up and back, going into a little reverse triangle, finding space along the whole left side. And then holding on to that space, start to reach the arm forward, extending the chest to that side. Maybe that left hand finds the shin, maybe it slides down, coming into our triangle pose. And this is also another great place for a block. If you want to take that block to the inside of the thigh, I guess you could do the outside too, but I'd say the inside's probably a little bit better. All right, so we're trying to keep our shoulders square to the side, reaching up, maybe a little bend in the knee, and not forgetting that right foot. It's still working. There's equal action in both feet. All right, now we're going to start to go into our twist. So taking that right arm and spiraling it down, picking up that back heel. We're going to first take that block to the outside of the foot and reaching up, coming into a little twisted revolved angle pose. So your left arm is now stretching up, right arm is rooting down. Now from here, we're going to make our way into revolved moon. So options here, lots of options. Maybe you're staying here. Maybe you're taking that block and then going ahead and prepping it up at the front, maybe the medium, maybe the low setting. We're going to start to push off the back foot, maybe slowly walking forward, maybe walking that right hand forward, or maybe using that block, coming into our fully revolved crescent. So we're trying to keep our hips square here. It's a challenging pose. We're trying to keep that right hip down. It tends to kind of want to twist, flexing that right foot, and then trying to open our chest to that side wall. It is hard. It is working, really bringing some awareness into our core and our left big toe. Can we find a little bit more space? And then gently start to bring both hands down. Take that right knee, just tap it behind the left thigh, a little bit of a Shiva squat. And then maybe the hands stay on the earth. Maybe they're coming to heart center. Can we straighten up and do another little Shiva squat? And then straightening both legs. One more time. Can we squat? Can we straighten? And then folding in, taking that foot again to the outside of the right, a little bit of a crisscross. Maybe shaking the hips side to side. Just feeling it out. And then as you're ready, sorting out your feet back into our regular forward fold. So hopefully you're feeling the challenge, feeling the heat, but being prepared to still push a little bit more. All right, on your inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands come through to heart center. Coming back to our breath and preparing ourselves to do the same thing on the other side. So starting to ground down in that right leg, firming that right thigh. Maybe your hands are at heart center. Maybe they're reaching down. Either option, or start to bring that left foot up. Maybe it's just tapping the ankle. Maybe it's a little bit higher. Maybe it's on the thigh. Just want to keep it off of the knee to keep our joints safe. So we're grounding down equally on both sides of that right foot. Hips are squaring to the front. Can we grow tall through the waist? And bringing our awareness inwards. And getting ready. From here, we're making our way into warrior two. So a gentle bend in that right leg as we start to straighten that left leg and we're reaching it behind us. Windmilling open, checking with our roots, evening it out. Pressing into the knife edge side of that left foot. Right knee over right ankle, stretching our arms east to west. Can we roll the shoulder blades down? Maybe a gentle gaze at the top of the mat. Can we feel equally both feet working? Maybe sink the hips a little bit lower, growing a little bit taller. And then taking that right arm, reaching it back and over, starting to straighten that right leg for a little reverse triangle. And finding that length, breathing through it. Starting to hold that length as we're stretching up, stretching that right arm forward as far as it can go before we reach it down. Slide it down the leg for our triangle pose. And so again, same options this side. Maybe you need the block, maybe not. The blocks are always helpful. Never be ashamed to want to use a block. We're trying to feel some stretch in the hips and maybe grounding that left hip down a little bit kind of changes the sensation in the right. Maybe your gaze is looking down. Maybe it's lifted to get a little bit more of a challenge. And so from here, we're going to go into our little twist. So starting to windmill the left hand down, picking up that left heel, starting to maybe move the foot over a little bit, reaching the right arm up for our little twisted lunge. So our right arm is reaching. Our left arm is pushing it. We're equal in actions in the arms. Staying here. And then as you feel ready, starting to make our way into that revolved half moon. So maybe we're taking that left foot, stepping it forward a little bit. Maybe we're getting that block ready. Maybe we're just going straight for it. Bringing it to the top of our mats as we launch off of that left foot, flexing the foot, reaching that right arm up. So we're trying to keep our hips square to the floor and imagining our chest square to the side. So a nice twisting action here. We're flexing both feet, keeping our legs active, engaged. We're reaching that right arm up. And maybe you're feeling challenged enough that you could float that left hand for just a moment, holding through it. And then as you're ready, start to bring those hands down. Take that left knee behind the right calf and going into our Shiva squats. So maybe the hands stay grounded. Maybe they float to prayer. Inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale, squatting in. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, squat. One more round. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, squat. And then taking that left foot to the outside of the right, just enjoying that forward fold for a moment. With a little bit of a crisscross in the feet. Gets a different stretch in that outer IT band. Then as you're ready, swapping those feet out, coming into our traditional forward fold. Connecting with that breath. Inhale, have flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Reconnecting with that breath as we slow it down. Getting ready to wind down our practice with just a little more core push. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, flow your way to downward facing dog. I'm getting the blocks out of the way if there are. All right, finding some calmness, finding some stillness. And now we're going to do a little bit more of those waves actions. So as you're ready, we're going to start to roll forward into plank and then drop the knees, just hover. Now, if you need to tap your knees down, you can, or try to keep them hovered. And as you inhale, start to push the hips back, kind of coming into a child's pose variation, and then lifting the hips for downward dog. So inhale, roll forward, really push the fingertips down. Then exhale, draw the knees down, tapping or dropping. Sink the hips back and lift the hips for downward dog. Let's do a couple more times. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, drop the knees, shift the hips back. Maybe closing your eyes as you inhale to roll through the spine. Then drop the knees, sink the hips back. Let's do one more round. Maybe exaggerating that movement, really feeling that full articulation in the spine. Then inhale, rolling forward to planks. Slowly drop the knees. Can we hover them all the way down? And release. All right, coming back into tabletop, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Taking our right foot, grounding it down behind you. Maybe rocking into the ankle for just a moment, stretching that calf, stretching the toes. And then sticking with this, or get that core engaged again, picking that leg up, flexing the foot so your hips are square. Maybe you're staying here, maybe you're reaching that left arm out for a little bird dog. Holding here. All right, inhale, start to draw the elbows in. And then stretching out. Exhale, drawing in. Inhale, one, straight. Exhale, round in. Then inhale, straighten, hold here. Maybe flex and bend that knee. Maybe that left hand reaches back. Maybe, just maybe, you can grab that foot. If you do have the foot, you're really kicking into the hands to lift and stretch. And if you don't have the foot, that's okay. You're welcome to stay here in just regular bird dog. This is your practice. As long as you're finding that shake, that quake, that is the goal. All right, we're going to windmill the hands down, straighten that right leg. Start to swing the left foot out, lifting that hip, coming into a little side plank variation. So maybe you're dropping the foot down. That gives you more stability. If you do drop the foot down, maybe you can pick up that left knee just for a moment. If you're keeping the foot raised, maybe you're taking that right hand, bending the foot, and finding that same action and that foot-hand connection. But if you are kicking and squeezing into it, or maybe you're straightening. Maybe you're reaching the arm above and a nice side plank variation. And then whatever you're taking, we will all windmill the hands down. Drop the right foot, tucking that toes. Inhale, picking up that left knee, a nice tight crunch. And then exhale, stepping the foot back, flowing your way to downward facing dog. Slowing it down, coming back to that breath. All right, and doing it all again on the other side. So as you're ready, starting to roll forward, then drop the knees, sink the hips back, lift the hips. So we'll do a couple of rounds of these downward dog waves. It's really getting into the spine. And if you want to skip them, of course, that's always an option too. Listening to your body is the highest goal. All right, next time you come through plank, pause and slowly start to drop the knees as strong as you can. And then releasing into table. So setting up again. This time going with the left leg behind you, dropping the toes, maybe rocking forward, stretching the calf, the ankle. And then of course you are welcome to just stay with this. Maybe you pick up that left leg, flexing that foot to keep the hips square. Maybe you reach that right arm out. All options. Find the one that works. Finding stillness and holding to build strength, or finding movement by drawing the elbow and the knee in. Inhale, reaching, and exhale, drawing it in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round in. One more time, reach, lengthen, and exhale, draw, receive. Inhale, reach forward, bend that left foot, bend the knee, reach the right arm back. Maybe you don't, maybe they're just floating. Maybe you find the foot. If you do, you are kicking into the hand to open that right shoulder, lifting that knee. Woo. Hopefully you're finding that shake, that quake. That means we're getting what we need. All right, then as you're ready, stretching that hand down, swinging that right foot out to the side, picking up that left hip, stacking the hips, reaching for our side plank variation. So maybe that foot grounds down and we lift the knee. Maybe it doesn't. If it is lifted, maybe we bend and grab the foot. Just grabbing it from the different arm, different activation. If we're staying lifted, maybe we're reaching the arm up. Or grounding the foot and reaching it up. And maybe we need to do something different on side to side. But whatever we're doing, next breath, we windmill that left hand down, tuck the back toes, pick up that knee, and then inhale, right foot comes in through center. And then I think we're ready to just wind it down. So dropping that foot, rolling forward, lower all the way down. And then breathe that sigh of relief. So inhale and start to lift up. Sink the hips back and swinging our feet out in front of us for some separate leg stretching. So let's take that left leg out to the side. Right foot bends in, going for 90 degrees in the hips. And that foot is making contact with that inner thigh. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold over that left leg, rounding down, grabbing the foot. If you can't quite reach your foot, you can grab the thighs. Maybe you need to bend the knee a little bit. That makes it more accessible. We want to be feeling the stretch along the leg, not our back. So bend the knee as you need to get the stretch in the right place. And then maybe we start to straighten and pull the upper body in. So we're winding down here. Maybe just noticing what we're feeling. Slowing the breath. And staying here. Inhale, start to walk ourselves up. Let's take our right hand behind us. And on your inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Maybe we stay here, or maybe we start to lift up on the hips. Go into a little bit of a wild thing variation. And then exhale, windmill that left hand down. And going into the other side. So right leg is straight, left leg bends. Sorting out our hips. Inhale, straighten. Maybe our fingers touch as we lower over the right foot. So again, we want the stretch in the legs, not the back. So bend that knee. Maybe you're grabbing your calf. Maybe you're grabbing your heels. Maybe you can make your fingers clasp behind the foot. We all need the same thing. We're just looking for sensation. But sometimes we have to do a little different things to be able to find it. So if your pose doesn't look like mine, that is okay. As long as you are feeling it, you are doing exactly what you need to do. Can we soften in for one more breath? Then inhale, start to lift ourselves up, taking that left hand, plant it behind us. Then on our inhale, that right arm reaches up and over. Maybe this is enough, or maybe we start to lift the hips and reach that hand back. Getting a nice, beautiful stretch along the whole right side. And then exhale, sink the hips down. And then bringing our legs out in front of us. Now we're going to do a little bit more of that separate leg stretching for mariachi. I can't even speak anymore. I'm so tired. All right. So we're going into our second separate leg stretch. So our left foot is grounding down. Right leg is straight. We're going to take that left arm, reach up, and try to reach forward for that right foot. So maybe we're grabbing the foot, maybe we're grabbing the calf, but we're leading with the heart to hinge forward. If you do go so far that you have the foot, maybe you can take it a little bit further by taking that left hand behind and bringing the back of the hand in to touch the thigh. Maybe we can go a little bit further. Maybe you can go so far that you take your right hand and you can grab both fingers and clasping them in. So if we have the bind, that gives us the kind of movement to be able to pull our upper body a little bit deeper. And then maybe we're tucking the chin. We want a full flexion in the spine. So even if you're just here at the very beginning, we're trying to round in to bring that chin to your chest and bring the forehead down. And one day, if we do this enough, we'll be able to bring that forehead all the way down to the knee. But whatever you're feeling, as long as we are staying above any pain, that is what we need to do. All right, then inhale ourselves back up, reaching that left arm straight, maybe coming behind you, maybe wiggling out the chest, wiggling out the foot, just sorting out our hips, and then we'll do the other side. Marichia. I can't even speak anymore. I give up. You know the pose. The pose dedicated to the sage Marichi. Inhale that right arm up. Exhale, start to reach it forward. Maybe it's grabbing the foot. Maybe it's not. Maybe both hands are just pulling you in. That's okay. If you do have the foot, you're taking that right hand, reaching it behind you with the back of the hand coming to touch the thigh, and then inching it forward. Maybe you're taking that right with the back of the hand, the palm of the hand touching and wiggling those fingers towards each other, getting that full bind. So our left foot is flexed, keeping that active. Maybe we're tucking the chin, but we want that full flexion in the spine as we bring the forehead down. In whatever pose we're doing right now, whatever we look like, just try to find some space to soften in. All right, on your next inhale, unwrap, unwind, stretching that right arm up. Maybe it comes behind you, twisting, shaking everything out, getting it moving. And then bringing both legs out in front for one more final stretch. So flexing those legs, flexing the feet. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, hinging forward. So maybe we're grabbing the outsides of the feet. Maybe we got our peace sign fingers on our big toes. Maybe we're still grabbing our calves. That's okay too. So we want full extension in the spine this time. So kind of imagining we're shining the heart forward, trying to bring our low ribs to our thighs. Cow's breath in the spine as we lengthen and soften. And when we can go no further, only then do we start to tuck the chin and lower in. So trying to breathe space between the vertebrae. Finding space and grace. And as we're ready, starting to inhale ourselves up and staying where we are. Maybe you need to scooch just a little bit further. Taking your hands in front of us. Last little bit of core push. So our hands are reaching. Can we slowly start to lower down? And then release. Setting up for our final Savasana. So sort out your hips if you need to. Maybe your legs are straight out in front of you. Heels are in, feet flopping out. This is the traditional. But sometimes I like to take my feet in a little bit bridge pose, taking the mat's width, then letting my knees fall in. Just give some more support for the low spine. So you may take these or whatever Savasana variation is calling to you. Just a few minutes here at the close of our practice to just appreciate all of the beautiful work that we've done and give our bodies a chance to integrate and absorb all of the goodness of our practice. All right, so if Savasana is calling to you, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, start to bring some awareness in your fingers and toes. Just a gentle little wiggle. Then inviting bigger movements with your wrists and your ankles, but maybe keeping your eyes closed a little longer just to keep that stimulation to a minimum. And stretching your arms, your feet out, getting a nice big good morning stretch. Hugging that muscle to bone as we awaken the body. And then gently starting to roll over to your favorite side. Pausing for a moment to let that spine come back to neutral. Then gently starting to press yourself up and coming into a comfortable seat. So we have started this practice in a seat. We will end in a seat. And maybe taking your hands to your knees to help support the chest as we breathe. Or maybe bringing your hands into heart center, rubbing them together to feel that friction, that heat, that prana that we have been cultivating in ourselves. And then pausing for a moment in stillness to just notice how we're feeling now and observing how this practice has served us today. So for all of the work that you have done today on the mat, we all benefit off of the mat. So I truly am grateful for you taking the time to care for yourself. Because when you care for you, you care for me too. So thank you so much. And until we meet on our mats again, I bow to you and say Om Shanti, peace, peace within, peace around, and peace to those who need it most. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with me today. Can't wait to see you again soon. And if you found this at all helpful, I would love it if you could like, subscribe, maybe leave me a comment, let me know how it went for you. And otherwise, keep doing the good work, bringing this peace, this stillness into the pose of life. And I will see you soon. Bye.